Hey there, we're in the wild today, recording some stuff, and wait, let me check my time. It's 6:30, interesting. You know what else is 63? My body weight. And as if that was not enough, have a look at this. With the number of times that I encountered 63 in my life, I almost started to believe that the universe was trying to send me a signal. Wherever I'd look, 63. My cell phone battery, 63 and charging. The license plate of the car that just drove by, 63 something something. For an entire month I was obsessed with this coincidence because one, it was happening way too often, and two, there was no way on earth it could have been a coincidence to run into the number 63 at the most unexpected of places. And yet, there it was. Then I learned about the Baader-Meinhof phenomena and I knew what I'd fallen prey to. You see, when we learn about something new, it registers as a recent memory in our brain and is subtly stored in our subconscious mind. When we stumble upon it again, we don't notice it as such, but our subconscious does. And it tells our conscious mind that by making it think that it's seeing a pattern. Have you ever learned a new word for the first time and then it seems to be everywhere in whatever text you read and you think it's manifesting itself too frequently? Or perhaps like me, you keep seeing numbers or patterns or words repeat indefinitely in your life. Or even more interesting, you learn about a scientific phenomena and just the next day you come across a situation where it's most suitably applicable and you think to yourself, wow, I just learned that yesterday. And today, this instance is already requiring that knowledge. Then you, my friend, have also been a victim of the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon. More often than not, chances are the word or number didn't get put in places where you saw it after the fact that you learned about it. Neither were you, although unfortunately so, the first discoverer of the application of, say, the Coriolis effect that you learned about in the weather news yesterday. Why then are you tricked into thinking that there must be some synchronicity in the universe, that everything around you happens for a reason, and that you, like me, have been conveyed some secret messages through these words or patterns? The Baader-Meinhof phenomena is the false impression that something happens more frequently than it actually does. It's scientifically called the frequency illusion. Once I had noticed the number 63, my brain was more likely to pay attention to it and thus more likely to notice it again. In fact, I can make a perfectly valid argument that for every time I saw the number 63, there were tens, perhaps hundreds of non-63 numbers that I saw and simply chose not to focus on. Which takes us to one of the components of the Baader-Meinhof phenomena, the selective attention bias. The selective attention bias describes our tendency to focus on one thing while totally ignoring others. It may also explain why an individual fails to see alternative possibilities when occupied with an existing train of thought. This in turn is solidified by another cognitive bias, that is the confirmation bias. The Wikipedia defines the confirmation bias as the tendency to focus on, interpret, favor, and recall information in a way that favors one's pre-existing thoughts or values. Once a pattern is created in your mind, it gets ingrained with each occurrence because your mind thinks that it's right with every occurrence, while in reality it's just selectively seeking and confirming the favorable instances. This explains why you feel when something came to your attention that it became important to the entire universe, and somehow you learning about it made it happen more frequently than before. Okay, let's say you want to buy a car and you choose to be unique and you say you've seen very few yellow cars on the road, so you're going to buy a yellow one. Now the very next day and the week thereafter, you keep noticing yellow cars in parking lots and on roads, and you think to yourself, what? Just when I thought of buying a yellow car, suddenly there are so many yellow cars on the street. Now it's not that everyone rushed to the car stores to buy yellow cars after your decision of buying one. They had it all along, you just didn't notice. It was after your conscious decision of buying a yellow car that you started to notice all those yellow cars that were already there. This is a classic example of the Baader-Meinhof phenomena. Let me warn you though, what is not an example of the Baader-Meinhof phenomena is the ads that you keep seeing pertaining to the products that you just searched for, because that's simply data collection and website cookies. And you know what's really funny is, ever since I started doing the research for this video, the appearance of the number 63 has reduced significantly. I now see in fact 62 and 64 more often. It's as if the Satan sending me 63s is like, okay, now watch. Or perhaps it's some reverse Baader-Meinhof phenomena, who's to say?